if I go to a certain restaurant, I'm like, oh, this girl that I went on a date with serves there. Like, should I go on a date with this girl to that restaurant because I know she works there? And like,
So you clearly have that romantic nature to you. Is that kind of what made you want to apply to the courtship? You were kind of sick of that modern dating lifestyle, deleted all the apps?
yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at my TikTok previously in the summer, it's basically just me bashing dating and dating apps, like talking about how bad dating is. So I was kind of like over it in a sense in general. And I was like, I just want to work on myself. And I think a lot of people too, and myself included, get caught up in like chasing and like, I'm trying so hard to find the one, as opposed to just like sit back, relax, and just like attract these things into your life. Like, let it come to you. If you go out, like the moments will present themselves. You don't have to be going on dating apps and talking to 3 or 4 people and going on 2 dates a week. Like, I feel people just try and do too much sometimes. And I think I got caught up in that a little bit too. So I'm just like, cold turkey, delete everything, just sit back and do my thing and let things come to me. And then, yeah, the opportunity for the show came and I was like, absolutely.
What type of things do you love doing in Vancouver? I know you mentioned you love like being outdoorsy and hiking. Are there any specific activities that like are your go-to favorites?
Yeah, so recently I've been obviously looking for more things to do since all of the craziness happened in 2020. So I bought a paddleboard and I've been doing a lot of paddleboarding. So I love paddleboarding. I love hitting the seawall on rollerblades, but mostly I love hiking the most. So I do quite a bit of hiking up in the Squamish area, up towards Whistler. And recently I've been doing a lot more in Chilliwack, but again, it's all kind of weather dependent. And of course I live downtown, so I walk the seawall just about every single day.
Can you tell me about, did you grow up in Vancouver? What was that like?
So I actually grew up in Beaumont, Alberta, and I moved out here when I was 25 years old. So call it kind of my quarter life crisis. I used to work on the oil rigs in Fort McMurray and I just hated the trades. I hated the whole thing. And I quit my job, moved out here, started serving at Earls in Yaletown and kind of just went off from there into all this other stuff.
Wow. So what made you choose Vancouver to move out to?
I chose Vancouver just because I'm super outdoorsy and there's so much to do here. It's kind of funny. When I was in Edmonton, I was very poorly traveled. I hadn't been to a lot of places, even within Canada. And I came out here to visit a friend in Vancouver and I was like, wow, this city's amazing. We got the mountains and the beaches and the ocean and just, there's so much to do. And growing up playing sports, so I was like, this is the perfect city for me to move to and to start a new life kind of here. So that was the whole idea for me moving out to Vancouver. It's amazing. It's just so easy to be active here when you can leave your front door, walk a few blocks and be on the seawall. So there's so many options that, I try and do a little bit of everything.
Do you have any favorite restaurants or bars that you go to?
Well, I got to give a shout out to Rodney's Oyster House because I worked there for a long time. And that was actually previously, I was their like digital kind of marketing manager. So I was at Earl's for about 6 months or so. And then I heard about this oyster bar down the street. It's all male servers and the clientele is like all the Cactus Club girls and Earl's girls and all this. And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty fun. And that was basically my hangout spot. And then of course there's the classic places like Banter Room and Parlor that are always fun to go to. But I'm quite a bit of a homebody now, so.
And how do you find the dating scene compares in Vancouver to other cities if you've dated outside? Like, is it that kind of small town feel even though it's a city?
I think it still is that kind of small town feel. Yeah, it crosses my mind too where I'm like, if I go to a certain restaurant, I'm like, oh, this girl that I went on a date with serves there. Like, should I go on a date with this girl to that restaurant because I know she works there? And like, it can be weird, especially if you're going out in like the Yaletown and the Gastown and stuff. And a lot of people do serve here. Yeah. So if you end up going on, obviously you have to go on multiple dates to figure out who the best person is going to be for you.
Yeah.
So if you're going on kind of multiple dates, you might end up running into some awkward situations. So in that sense, like, it definitely feels really small here.
What was it like growing up in Alberta? So did you have like siblings or where did you go to school there?
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town called Beaumont, Alberta. So originally our first house, we backed onto like a farmer's field and it was just, I think there was maybe a population of under 10,000. Wow. And when I graduated from high school from Beaumont Composite High School. I think my graduating class was maybe around 500. It was pretty small. I have a younger brother and I have an older sister. They're all still in kind of the Beaumont, Edmonton area. My parents are retired now, but they still got a house out there. Growing up in Beaumont was great. I would never give up anything for growing up in a small town and having those same like best friends. I'm still in a group chat with them since high school and skateboarding and playing hockey and snowboarding and just kind of all kinds of winter activities and summer activities growing up. So yeah, I did kind of a little bit of everything.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our Narcity channel to see more content like this.